Good evening, everyone. My name is Adam Barriere, and I'm running for a seat on the Budget Committee here in town. To begin, thank you, of course, to the Lions Club and the library for all they've done to put this night together. Thank you to all of you who came out tonight and everyone watching at home. And, of course, thank you to all my fellow candidates. It's that sort of civic engagement that was one of the many things that makes this town so great. A little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Goffstown, and my wife and I have chosen to come back and raise our family here. My daughter attends Maple Avenue School. I was a Bartlett kid myself. My son attends Mountain View now. Now, I remember stepping back into Mountain View for the very first time in 1993 when Mountain View was a pretty new school at that time. It was only a couple years old. Now I love going back with him for his orchestra concerts or for open house or whatever that might be. And when I do, I love to point out where all my old classrooms were. And I love to walk down the hallways and say, that's where I had sixth grade social studies with Mr. Maraska. That was seventh grade science with Miss Nelson. And then he groans and complains and whines. But the thing is, Mountain View Middle School is basically the exact same school as it was when I went there in the early 90s. It's a great school, and it's one of our newer schools in town. But the reality is, it, like so much of our infrastructure, is aging in this town. My story of going there in the past, that's the past. I'm running for budget committees because I'm invested in the future of this town. When I think of the aging infrastructure of our town, like the schools, like the police station, I know we need to make some prudent budget decisions that really look at the big picture while recognizing the overall cost in current circumstances. As a budget committee member, I will be looking for ways to be proactive in our budget rather than entirely reactive, while respecting your needs as residents and taxpayers. I'll be making recommendations on how best to balance the needs and wants of the town. We all know the difficult economic times that we're dealing with right now. As one of your elected representatives, that stays forefront in my mind if I'm lucky enough to be seated on the budget committee. We're lucky here in Goffstown to actually have a rather lean budget, believe it or not, and I hope to keep it that way while addressing the needs of the community and looking to the future. Currently, I serve as the assistant principal, a public assistant principal at Pelham High School. As part of my job, I serve in a number of different leadership capacities. Part of that is working on our school budget, is preparing our school budget. And to do that, I sit down with my department heads. They come in, they sit down, they have to present their wants and their needs to me. And I ask them the questions, right? I ask them, what's really needed? Are there other ways that we could fund that? How are we going to use that moving forward? Those sort of questions. Because I know that to stand behind that budget, to recommend that budget, I have to recognize the wants and the needs of the school and the town and the circumstances. As a budget committee member, I will bring that same critical eye and thoughtful questioning to our town budget. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I hope you will consider voting for me on March 14th. Thank you.